Hi everyone, it's been a long time no vlog. Haven't vlogged in a little while, but I am just pulling out my new iPhone 10, and this is the front camera, and it's still gonna be good quality. So I had an iPhone 6 for a long time, and it was kind of crapping out. So I decided to upgrade to an iPhone 10, and I absolutely love it. Going to film a little bit in the gym today, and then also give you guys kind of an update on where my physique is and my training is at. I'll make this kind of a training, physique, New Year update for you guys, and maybe some training insight as well, depending on what I film today in the gym. So upper body has been a big focus since my shows. I'm doing upper body more often during the week, and then hitting lower body 1 to 2 times per week actually. So my lower body just tends to be more dominant, and currently weighing at about 136 pounds. So my stage weight was 100 and anywhere from like 128 to 131. So I'm up about 7 pounds or so, which is a good place to be right now. I was a very low body fat percentage, so have been adding weight consistently since my seasons, since my shows. And my last show was Worlds, which I now have the professional footage from Worlds, so I'm gonna try to put something together to show you guys. It's really cool. So exciting to get that back, exciting to get photos back, but have been adding, just adding in calories. My calories are about 23 to 2,400 calories. Cardio is pretty much nothing unless I feel like walking or doing some intervals. And so typically I do that after a workout for recovery a little bit. And so life has been good. I'm looking forward to going down to Florida this next week. I'm meeting up with Paul Ravella, as many of you, I'm sure you know about him. He is one of my good friends and also been just a really great mentor for me in both coaching and business and all that stuff. So I'm gonna go visit him and then do some content with him and Lauren, my girlfriend, Lauren Conlon. I'm excited to see her. And I'm gonna be on their podcast, so it's gonna be a fun week. We're gonna hopefully get lots of content. So if you guys have any questions or have any ideas, you can leave below, and maybe we will address that in some of our videos and some of our training logs. So hopefully gonna get a lot more footage, training footage, potentially, and some other things, some other informative videos. So yeah, so I am going to head to the gym. I ate this morning at like pretty late. It's 2 p.m. now, so I've only had one meal, but I've just been working all day, and typically I work out midday usually, or like late morning after I work in the morning. So I work mostly from home, so usually what I do is work in the morning, lift, run some errands, whatever, and then work at night. I just like breaking up my day that way. I find I can focus better on my work. I find I can give my clients better attention when I break it up. Sometimes like writing programs, it takes a creative mindset too, and I find that my creative mindset is better broken up a bit as opposed to like one long stretch. So if I have a program to write, sometimes I like to think about it over the day. Like if I actually have a few things I need to write, a few programs, a few diet things that I need to do for certain clients. And so sometimes I like to just think about it over the day too, and think about, all right, how do I want to structure this? So I don't just like to rush and try to get a program to someone. I like to think about it mentally and ask them a lot of questions. So that's usually how I break up my work day. But of course, sometimes I work out early and then I work again after that, and then maybe take a break, do some things, and then work at night. So I usually, I'm working a lot during the day, but I like to break it up, and I find my creative mindset is better. So just drinking some cold brew coffee in a coffee mug with a K on it. I collect coffee mugs, if anyone didn't know, fun fact. So I'm gonna wrap this little just ramble up, and then I will film some stuff at the gym. Hi everyone, so I wanted to do a little bit of a voiceover to give you a few exercises that I did the other day. I realized as I watched myself vlog, I still don't know where to look on the camera in my new phone, apparently. So I apologize for that. Looks like I was like looking somewhere else and not into the camera. So I'm going to show you guys a few of my favorite leg exercises, and then at the end, just a couple accessory exercises for the upper body as well. So here, this is glute ham raise, but as you'll notice, I am using a PVC pipe. And I can actually perform glute ham raises without assistance, but I prefer to use this pipe in order to get a full stretch on my hamstrings. And I am also dealing with a slight, just hamstring tweak. My hamstrings have been sensitive just ever since I was a track runner in high school, and I tend to have just tweaks here and there. So I just need to be mindful and careful. And that variation of GHR with the PVC pipe allowing me to use a little bit more of my upper body force and get an appropriate stretch and make sure I'm not overdoing it on my hamstrings. So, or my hamstring that is currently just giving me a little bit of trouble. So here you'll notice that I'm using the bench press as stability for hip thrusts. So here I am doing 225 pounds. I did 3 sets of 20. This is actually an intro week for me. I just tapered last week, keeping reps pretty high. So I'm actually currently doing one just lower body day and another day that's kind of lower and upper. And then I have the rest of my days are upper body focused. So I tend to be pretty dominant in my lower body. I don't really need a lot more, I guess you could say, definition down there in order to improve my physique for the next time I step on stage. The next time I do compete, whenever that may be, it will likely be in bodybuilding after coming off a very successful season, so that likely won't be until 2019. I'd like to take some time to try to grow and to try to improve, but we'll see. We'll see how my physique improves. We'll see how I'm feeling, and discuss with my coach in terms of my plans and what I want to do. So here, this is cable pull-throughs. So a lot of times on cable pull-throughs, I notice people doing them wrong. So they're using more of their back instead of their glutes. So I like to think of sitting into my heels and making sure that I am not rounding my lower back. Keep your back neutral as possible. Just keep a tight upper back and keep your emphasis in your heels. Keep your legs, your toes pointed slightly out, and keep them a little bit wider than shoulder width, and make sure you are not using your back. I'd really encourage you guys to try to, as you come to the full stretch in the movement, think of your heels, your hamstrings, and your glutes, not necessarily just lifting with your back. And that's what I see most people doing, and then it ends up becoming a back exercise, and it should not be a back exercise. So here I am just doing a simple crunch on this cable machine. If you follow me on Instagram, KDN100, and if you watch my Instagram story, I actually mentioned that I am terrible at adding in any sort of abdominal work. And so in order to motivate me to do so and to remember to do so, what I'm doing, actually I was inspired by my pastor. He's doing plank and pray. And so what I'm doing is adding in 3 sets of 25 for a particular ab exercise every single day. And then for each set, I'm thinking of one person and praying for them. So I think it's pretty powerful when you think about that's over 1,000 people per year. So I'm excited to do that, and I haven't skipped a day so far, so it's been motivating for me. So this is split squats. I'm using the bench press again. So the bench press, the only thing it's useful for is leg gains, just saying. So I'm using it for split squats, and as you'll notice, what I do is I hold. So this, I was just doing a finisher. But if you go back to when I was actually using weight, I hold on to the barbell for some stability, and then have the dumbbell as close to my other leg as possible. So you can rewatch that to see how I balance on there. This is one of my favorite back machines. This is a row. You'll notice I make all kinds of funny faces when I am working out. I'm pretty intense and don't like to really lose my focus, so I usually am listening to music. A lot of times I close my eyes. I really focus on what I'm trying to work, and try not to get distracted, because I think it can be easy to get distracted in the gym. But I really like to try to focus, especially while I'm doing back work, because I find it hard to engage the right part of your back unless you are focusing tremendously. It can be easy just to swing and just go through the movements, but I really like this row machine because you can either do a close grip or a prone grip row. So here I'm doing more of a prone grip, and then you'll see there's another, if you can look at that and see that there's another attachment or another handle on the inside. So I also did close grip rows before this. So I like it because it's seated, takes some stress off your lower lumbar, and you also are able to load the weights on there for whatever intensity you need, and it's not necessarily a cable where you feel like it's compromising your lower back. So I really do enjoy that. And here, just a little bit of bicep work. So I'm doing biceps 2 times per week right now, triceps 3 times per week for all upper body. So shoulders, back, and arms, and then lower body is just 2 times per week, primarily hip thrusts and leg press as the majority of my volume. Just what I'm enjoying, feeling stronger. Weight is up, as I mentioned, from show, and so we'll see where I'll end up. Thinking I'll be around 140 pounds here in the next few weeks or so, and maybe hang out around there. So about 10 to 12 pounds over stage weight might be a good place to be, and we'll see. So I'm actually headed to Tampa tomorrow. So I am going to be making content with Paul Ravella, who is one of my good friends and a business mentor for me, and I'm going to be staying with him and his family. So comment below if you have any content ideas or questions. We will be filming a lot of content and recording a podcast. So lots of talking, lots of content going on. So definitely let us know if you have any sort of ideas or questions or suggestions, and we will try to cover it.